Welcome to A Peek Inside. I'm Cairo, a student in the Broadcasting and Electronic Media Department here at Pikes State College. This program takes you inside the events, careers, and lives of people in and around the Pikes Peak region. Our guest today is Jim Downing, a Colorado native who's worn many hats over many years during a 30-year trade career and over 25 years spent in education. Jim, how are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine, Cairo. How are you?
I'm doing well. So what is something, you've lived in the Colorado Springs community for quite a while. What is something that you miss in the community?
I miss an awful lot of the old downtown lifestyle. Movie theaters that were downtown were a real big part of my years growing up. And it was a different experience going to a movie theater in the 60s and the 70s than it is now.
I believe it.
Oh yeah, you got what, 13, 14, 25 screens, one building, one screen. It was a great experience.
I don't know. I'm just thinking about like all the way overpriced concessions. It's like, why is a small popcorn $8? No one needs to pay that much for that popcorn.
Well, yeah, when I was a kid, 75 cents would get you into the movie and it would get you a drink and a candy bar.
If only.
It's been a while.
What a life. What is something that you love about the Colorado Springs community today?
What I really like about the community today is the open space that we have, that we've been able to preserve. And the Red Rocks open space, the parks we have here, the Garden of the Gods, we've kept them inviolate, and that is incredibly important for any community, but more especially here. I
agree. You go hiking a lot?
Yes, yeah, 2 brand new knees, I'm 100%.
New knees, okay. What is something that you think people in the Springs have forgotten over time?
Just how small a town this once was, the feel of community. I grew up on the west side of Colorado Springs, and we were our own little town at that point. Even though we were part of Colorado Springs, we still were our own little community. And a lot of that's gotten lost. Well, the influx of people, we're looking at 500,000 people. When I was a kid, was probably about 40 or 50,000. So we've grown quite a bit.
Yeah, that is quite a bit of growth. And then last question real quick, what is something you think people have learned in Colorado Springs?
Colorado Springs, people have learned the value of education. The facility you're in right now, Pikes Peak State College, used to be a little bunch of buildings on the west side of Colorado Springs, El Paso Community College. And now, 3 different campuses, and valued by the community.
We have this whole studio?
This is amazing.
Yeah.
It's truly amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll get back to this great conversation after a short break. Welcome back to A Peek Inside. I'm Cairo from the Broadcasting and Electronic Media Department at Pikes Peak State College. We're joined today by Jim Downing, who's been working in the Pikes Peak region over many positions and many years. So, what is something that you wish you had known when you were 20 years old?
Exactly how hard it is to raise kids.
That's a good answer. I think that's a good answer.
It was even simpler back then, but I pity parents now that have to do the whole technology thing, phones and whatnot. But for me, I wish I'd had a heck of a lot more lead into that myself.
That makes sense. What is a piece of advice you would like to impart on the audience? Maybe the best piece of advice you've ever gotten, or just something you wish for them to know?
The best? Well, I heard this piece of advice a number of times. I wouldn't do that if I were you. And you can apply that to any number of situations. But in all seriousness, life is meant to be lived. And if you want to climb a mountain, prep up and climb the thing. Don't think about it, don't wonder at it. Do it.
Okay, I agree with that. I do think there's a lot of people today who who maybe could use to incorporate that more into their lives. It's just like a lot of anxiety about trying new things. You just do it.
Oh, undoubtedly. And nobody's ever gone to the end of their days and said, gee, I wish I'd have shown up to work a little bit more.
That's true. That's very true.
Live it. Live life.
Yeah. Building on that a little bit, what is something you wish people did more for themselves?
A whole lot more of taking care of themselves physically. So many people, they're tied to a television, they're tied to screens. And it sounds trite, but it is true. You have to turn those things off sometimes, get outside. Get some grass under your feet and see the sun. And really activity, moving, going. Trust me, when you get older, there's a myriad of things that are going to go wrong with you. You're better off if you take care of yourself as best you can so you have lead time, again, to be prepared for that.
Yeah, preparation is always a stitch in time saves 9.
I think so.
Yeah. What is something you wish more people did more for others?
Acts of kindness, goodness.
I think most people would agree.
And doing things that are altruistic. It's one thing to do something because you know it'll look good. It's quite another to do something when you really don't know if anybody's watching at all, but you do it because it's the right thing to do. I think that was something we could probably have a whole lot more of.
Yeah, okay. I agree wholeheartedly. I think like there's definitely kind of like an individualistic sort of mindset that's growing in some people. And I think it could be used, like it could be a big help if people were just kinder to one another. And like, just, I mean, exactly that, yeah, just be kinder to one another. Mm-hmm. We'll be right back to this after a short break. Welcome back to A Peek Inside. I'm Cairo from the Broadcasting and Electronic Media Department at Pikes Peak State College. We're joined today by the one and only Jim Downing. He's spent 25 years working as an educator here in the Pikes Peak region and is a PPSC graduate.
I am.
Yes. So you've had a lot of teachers, you've spent a long time as a teacher. What do you think is the best quality that an educator could have?
You've got to be able to think on your feet. My entire time as an educator, I never scripted what I was going to do. I had an idea. You are well aware of my presentation style, but every room goes its own direction, and you have to be able to think on your feet. If you can't, you're going to be lost, and you look like a fool in front of everybody. And you also have to have a thick skin, really. There are days you'll have something in one class where it works perfectly. It's just, oh, that was just wonderful. And the very next class period, it falls flat on its face.
Yeah, that's not dissimilar to what it's like in production. Sometimes like one show will go great, like amazing, by the books, everything perfect, and then the next show, a mic dies in the middle of it, and you're just like, well, what are you gonna do?
Oh goodness.
Yeah. What is something that you've learned from your students over the years?
Patience. If by and large, the students I've had, both at the high school and collegiate level, are a heck of a lot more patient than their adult counterparts. They will give you a great deal of leeway if you have the good sense to admit you don't know everything. If a student would come to me or say, ask a question, I would at least have the humility to say, gee, I don't know.
Yeah. And
if you can do that, the kids will give you a lot of slack. But gosh, don't try to act like you're the sage on the stage. And you know it all. No, I'm not the great and powerful Oz. Never was, never will be.
You would make a great Oz.
Big head.
Yeah. Would you be willing to share a proud moment, an anecdote of a proud moment you had as an educator?
Oh, just in my life?
Yeah.
A proud moment in my life. The birth of my children.
Okay.
Really, I think would be probably right up there, would have to be. But if you're talking about something that's, well, I heard somebody, another presenter today was talking about football, blocking a punt. Defensive linemen don't get a lot of play. You really don't. You're slugs. You're out there just in the mud and you're messing around, and you don't get a lot of headlines. But I blocked a punt my senior year of high school. I was the team captain, and it was our homecoming game. And we scored as a result.
Oh, that's big.
That's only been 50 years ago now. And I still remember it. It generates goosebumps. It most certainly does. So yeah, that's a proud moment.
All right, well that's great. And last question, are you proud of your students?
Inordinately proud. Inordinately proud.
As a student of yours, I appreciate
Yes, you
that
were,
a lot.
and you're a good one. You're a good one. I have never believed that there's a bad kid. Bad teachers, they're in abundance. Bad kids, no. You just have to find a way to get through to them. And quite frankly, I've been lucky. Wonderful kids, wonderful students.
Well, that's all the time we have today for A Peek Inside. I'd like to thank our guest, Jim Downing. I'm Cairo, a student in the Broadcasting and Electronic Media Department at Pikes Peak State College. More information on this program can be found at pikespeak.edu/BEM.